Welcome to Norwegian Modeling Bench. This is Kenneth and today I have an unboxing for you. So this kit was just recently sent to me. It's just released from Pontos. It is the USS Essex or the LHD-2, so a WASP class LHD. This is the first time, as far as I know at least, that Pontos is releasing a complete kit. So this is the plastic parts and all of the usual detail upset parts that you will get from Pontos. So scribe parts, resin parts, 3D printed parts, decals, and so on. And as far as I know, this is a combination from Trumpeter and Pontos. So let's take a look at what we have inside. So when opening up the box, we are presented with a small poster of the ship. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a really nice box art, so it's definitely a showpiece, I would say. Then we have all the different plastic parts. On one side we have the hull here. We have a bag of scribe parts. We have some 3D printed parts. 2 bags of those. We also, we have the hull here. We will of course go into more detail. I might have failed to mention it's a 1/350 scale. We have several bags of sprues. Which we will definitely go more in detail on. We have the smaller sprues here. Then we have what seems to be both the base and some part of the well deck. And also the F-35B, so the one that is taking off vertically, and 6 of those. And so here we have the sign for the ship, which says USS Wasp LHD-1. So I guess that Pontos is doing a kind of reconstruction of the LHD-1 to LHD-2. Then we have a plastic bag here. And inside the plastic bag it is the flight deck. Which we will look at later on. Then we have a box of, I would assume, the different planes and vehicles and so on. Yes. Then we have, wow, this was really nice design for the ship. And there we have the instructions, luckily not folded for once. which we will definitely take a closer look at. steel deck. With a lot of nice details. We have lots of different photo etch frets. And finally, a pack of decals or decals. So let's take a closer look at the different parts. So if we start out with the hull, this is definitely a Trumpeter plastic. Detail wise, not that much to say. I think it's you have probably seen reviews of the LHD-1, and this is definitely the LHD-1 hull, which can also be seen here inside. But it's definitely a nice hull. Some details, not too bad. There are some scratches. Well, it seems like scratches, but it's actually just variations in the plastic. Otherwise, no big sink marks or anything like that. Of course, you have the usual mold lines that needs to be taken care of. Some extraction pin marks, but otherwise quite nice. Then we have the decks, which also have a bit of girder structure beneath. Then the big flight deck. These tie downs seem a bit exaggerated for 1/350 scale, but of course it's going to be covered up by the steel photo etch, so I guess it's not a big issue. Then we have some minor parts. I don't know what all of these are. And I'm not going to take them out of the bag. I think that's not necessary. I guess many of these parts are actually going to be replaced. I know that they have removed some of the frets, but no, not of the frets, the screws. So we have a lot of parts, and of course, since this is a regular Trumpeter kit with the details added, you will definitely need to do some adjustments, so it's not like the Joyard kit that I have made a review on earlier, where it's made for the extra details. Well, that's not very easy to see, is it? Then we have some bulkheads. Two sprues in one with what looks to be the bulkheads inside the well deck, which is very nicely molded, I would say. A lot of nice details. So I guess you can find a good review on the plastic kit itself. It is the LHD-1 Wasp, USS Wasp, but at least it's a good combination, getting both the kit and the detail upset in one. You will definitely save a couple of bucks on that one. So then we have the different aircrafts that are going on the ship. These are also regular Trumpeter ones. So usually they're quite nice. The plastic looks to be the brittle type, so a bit tedious to work with, but definitely doable. I think I will order some of the aircrafts from 3D Wild and maybe do a comparison with these when I'm starting on this one time in the future. But we also have an addition from Pontos in terms of aircrafts. So we have these F-35Bs, which are not in clear plastic, so it's probably a bit easier to work with. Detail-wise, not necessarily a big fan. But again, let's see. I'm going to also order some F-35Bs from 3D Wild and do a comparison. Then we have 2 bags of resin parts or 3D printed resin parts. This might be a bit fragile. So yeah, some have been knocked off. These are the life rafts that are going around the ship. And as you can see, these are very nicely detailed. So probably the guns, the 25 millimeters. Then you have this phalanx, and well, we'll also have the inflatable. Look at this one, it's very nice. A lot of nice details on that one. They've done an incredible job on these 3D printed parts. Wow. a lot of yeah, we have a lot of different parts here, and we can take a look at the instructions to see all of the what all of the different parts are. But at least they look really nice. So it looks like it's going to be a pleasure to work with. Then we have scribed brass parts. So these are, I assume, parts for the radars and some of the minor parts. We have probably some flagstaffs and so on. Some capstans. Yes, a lot of different scribed parts. Actually 161 scribed parts. So for the photo etch, we have this steel. Sorry for the blinking. We have this steel deck, and the tie downs look actually quite nice. We have the elevators, and then another part of the deck, and as you can see, also with engravings for the helicopter stations and so on. Okay, so then we have the photo etch frets. The first one here is for the F-35. Extra details for those plastic parts. Then in no specific order, we have the different photo etch frets for the ship itself, with, well, railings, what looks to be either well, it could be the safety nets. Then you have a helicopter rotor, the tilly, yet another fret with reels, railings, support platforms, etc. Another one with railings and what looks to be part of the radar. And platform. More of the railings and windows with wipers, windshield wipers. That was a nice touch. And what looks to be the bridge or an observation deck of some kind. Then it's this fret, which has railings and what looks to be for the well deck, the door on the well deck. We have more parts for well, railing, and I guess these are for the elevators, the girders. Very nice. Then we have some of the catwalks and railing for those. I guess there are multiple of those. It should be at least, yes. Then we have more of those catwalks going on the sides. Same thing here, a lot of stairs and so on. They have a lot of nice details on them. And one more of more or less the same. So there is a theme here. Catwalks and platforms. And then we have rotor blades. So then we have the decals or the decals. These are the decals for the F-35. It says USMC Royal Navy markings. Cartograph, so quality at least. Then I guess this is from the original Trumpeter set. Same with this. Nothing really to write home about, I would say. So these are for the ship itself and for the different aircrafts. And then we have this big one, which is LHD-2 specific or Essex specific, which are printed by Cartograph. Which is printed by Cartograph. Very nice indeed. So let's take a look at the instructions. So I guess the first page is the most interesting one. So what we have included in this kit is then 161 scribe parts, 14 sheets of photo etch, 2 sheets of water slide decals, 214 3D parts. We have the F-35, and I also noticed that the canopies are clear, so that's nice. Then we have the list of the different scribe parts, but most interesting is probably the 3D printed parts, and these, as I said, are really nice. For sure, they have done a great job on those, very nicely detailed, and well, it's going to be fun working with. So otherwise we have then the overview of the deck itself and the usual listing of the different parts and decals that are going into the deck. And then we have the side markings for the hull. The second page shows the hull and deck modifications. So that's a nice touch. So here we have the internals of the well deck. We have PE parts for the deck, and then you have some resin parts for the water drain, it looks like. Oh no, those are steel. And then you have the gutter. Yeah, it's really actually quite nicely planned out or described, I would say. Then we have, well, as I mentioned, a lot of catwalks. So here we have them listed out. Also some of the reels, catwalks, and even more catwalks. We have all the detailing for the underside here, with the underside of the platforms or catwalks, sides, stairs. Also then the life raft positioning. Catwalks and even more catwalks. Again, catwalks and even more catwalks and life rafts on the other side. Then we have the elevators. So here we have the detailing going on the underside, which has a lot of nice details, it looks like, also with the resin parts for the sides. So if you take a look at the end result, those should be really nice. Same here, you can have them down, of course, in the upper or lower position. Then we have the island. So a lot of different parts that needs to be cut away, then adding windows and railings and so on. So you have the Sea Sparrow, the ram launcher, and also different equipment for the bridge, outside bridge, so binoculars, of course not a bridge, observation deck. So yeah. Then more on the island, with the radomes and radars, the radar, and some of these are entirely made of PE, also with a nice touch with the windshield wipers, directors, then we have a lot of different equipment going on. I am not sure what everything is, but I would look at this one. That's really, really nicely detailed. This looks like it is a winch of some kind. And then we have the crane. Also with a lot of nice details. We have the rear mast and the equipment going on with the radar or radars and the rear topmast. more on more of the masts, the foremast, and the deck for that one, and also the radar equipment going on the masts, before we are heading into finalizing the island. So this is how it's going to look. Very, very nice, I would say. Then we have the stern deck with the details for the stern deck and also the well deck door. There you go. Hopefully that's easy to see. Very nicely detailed with all the girder structure and those nice details that makes it very interesting to look at the ship. Then we have the replenishment port with the crane boom and so on inside, side domes, accommodation ladder, which are going on the sides, of course. I don't know if you can have them in both a stowed and yeah, here you can have them in an extended version as well, it looks like. Then we have the different cranes, salvage crane, the Tilly. So you have all the PE for that one, and the tires are in resin. And then you have deck vehicles, which are then both kit parts, so the trumpeter parts, and then detailing by Pontos. So those are going inside the well deck. Then we have the LCAC. Not a lot of details for that one. Well, some. My mistake. And also the LCU. Before you have then extra details for the helicopters. Finally, we have instructions for the F-35s. A building instruction, and you have also then the option to have open and closed with the nozzle down and not, and then we have the decal positioning. Then we have an overview of all the parts. So here we have an overview of the parts. So these are the kit parts or the plastic parts. So I would assume this is more or less a copy of the trumpeter instructions. Yes, they are. And I won't go into details on those. Oh, sorry about that. These are just regular trumpeter instructions on a big sheet. Okay, so then we have been through the entire kit. I would say it looks nice, at least many of the parts. I think it is a good deal in terms of both getting the kit and the detail upset in one package. It is, I would say, regular Pontos quality on the parts, and I'm definitely looking forward to assembling it. So I hope that it at least gave you a bit of an insight of what is in this newly released kit. Make your own decision if this is something for you or not. Otherwise, stay safe until next time.